Believe it or not, the first I've heard my opponent's name was just now in this interview. I I haven't even looked him up yet. I don't like to. I will eventually, but I was going to give it a couple weeks because the thing is, once I look up an opponent and I decided, okay, no, I'm going to watch film on him. Like that is in the back of my head now until the day of the fight.
We're joined by Bellator welterweight Marc Lemminger. Always exciting to watch in the cage. He's back in action against Michael Lombardo at Bellator 289. How's everything going today, man?
I'm going good today. Enjoying the last of Wisconsin's decent weather, I guess.
That's exactly what I was about to ask you. Like, is it
Yeah.
cold out there yet? So I guess it's not. But what's cold for you,
No.
though? What's cold for you? Because you live in Wisconsin.
I hate the cold, man. This week was great, but I guess it's supposed to get cold tomorrow. I don't know. I'm a summer guy. I fucking hate the weather in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing you're at the gym that you like, right? That's kind of what keeps you there, I guess.
Yeah. My family's all here. Otherwise, I'd be somewhere warmer. We get a lousy 3 months. We get a great summer, but it's 3 months long and then it's gone. And all my hobbies are outside. I don't know, man. I could go for some better weather.
Absolutely, man. I'm from New Jersey, so I kind of get what you're saying, but I kind of don't
Yeah.
at the same time because it can be pretty cold over there.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into the good stuff, man. Obviously, you're back in action, right? But before we get into the big fight, right, I want to talk about the last time we saw you in action. Have you had some time to reflect on the loss? What do you make of the fight? It was obviously a good one, right? It was a fight that you were up. A lot of people had you up 2 rounds going into the third. What do you make of the whole thing?
I don't know. I don't want to sound arrogant, but the guy got lucky, man. If we fought, I think if we fight 10 times, I think I beat him 9 times. I think he got me that one. But he got me. So I'm sitting here sounding like a sore loser, but I don't know. It is what it is. That's part of the game. You get caught in shit like that sometimes. Looking back on it, I was doing fine everywhere the fight went. If you were to look back on it and think, what would you do differently? I would have probably stood with him in that third round, but I kind of fell right into that takedown. I don't think there's nothing I could have did differently.
Absolutely. And were you expecting something like that? A takedown of that sort to, appear from the ground? Is that something when you were preparing for him that you thought could be a possibility or no?
I knew he was going to do a lot of like when I took him down, he threw a spinning like heel kick, and I knew he was going to be doing a lot of stuff like that. So all I was really working on is cutting an angle and getting inside. When I saw him attempting those, and that's all I really did. I didn't even try to that third round when I ended up in that choke. I didn't even try to take him down. I saw he really telegraphed all of his kicks, and I saw him load up to kick, and all I did is I just took a little step and then cut in, and then he ended up falling over more or less than me taking him down. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a sore loser, but I think I was the better fighter, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely how it goes, man. It's it's not a sport where everyone walks out of it unscathed always. So you definitely, sort of understand that. And you've been sort of on not a hiatus, but like, what are you a social media guy? It looks like you're sort of just coming, the fights are around you. Like, cause I personally don't like social media. So it looks like you're sort of someone that likes to pop in, maybe promote your fight a little bit, do what you got to do, and then you're out of there, right? Is that accurate?
So for the longest time, my older sister ran my social media page for me because I hate, but I've never owned a laptop in my life. I hate social media. So I never did it. But then, I got into Bellator and stuff, and I told her, I said, I should probably start doing this on my own. So I tried it for a little bit, and now I'm bad at it. And the way I look at it, I mean, I don't know. I'm in Bellator. I know obviously it would help if I had a bigger social media following, but the only reason I really started the MMA pages and stuff was to get into a bigger promotion. So I'm kind of like, well, I'm here now. So if you want to tune in, catch my fights on YouTube, because you ain't going to get much out of my social media pages.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and I like it. Some fighters just like to let the fighting speak for themselves, right? So that's something that I'm sure is relatable amongst other fighters as well. So let's talk about the big fight, man. The one that matters, the next fight, always the most important one. How has preparation been going, right? I know it's in December. It's not like right around the corner per se, right? But You started camp?
So, I don't really do much of a camp anymore. The thing is, I'm kind of a guy that's always training. The only thing that really changes is, 2 months out, I'll start ramping up the cardio. So I started doing that. And I guess you could call that my camp. But otherwise, I'm kind of always at the gym. So yeah, I guess you could say I started camp because I started ramping up the cardio, and I'll start the diet pretty soon here. But
you train specifically for opponent, or do you just sort of always like to just train your style and just, bring it out there like that?
Believe it or not, the first I've heard my opponent's name was just now in this interview. I haven't even looked him up yet. I don't like to. I will eventually, but I was going to give it a couple weeks because the thing is, once I look up an opponent and I decided, okay, no, I'm going to watch film on him. Like that is in the back of my head now until the day of the fight. So I don't want to burn myself out. About 6 weeks before the fight, then I'll watch some film, and then I'll kind of hone in on the opponent. But where I'm at right now, I'm just training. You know what I mean? I'm getting ready for a fight, not necessarily for this guy yet,
Well, sorry to break the name to you, man. I know you
No,
like to
no,
do it.
you can say the name all you want. I'll have to watch some film.
Right. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, good thing for that, right? So there's many moments in fights, right? In terms of like the ones that I've seen from you specifically, where, you sort of sometimes like to let it all out there, right? You like to leave it all out on the line. I mean, you said it yourself, right? Sometimes you like to go out there and sort of swing in certain moments of the fight. When you, I mean, you haven't looked at him yet as an opponent, right? Based on what you just said, but is that something you think will continue moving forward? Like, do you envision moments like that in this upcoming fight?
Yeah, I kind of hope for moments like that. I think that's why I like the sport. There's there's obviously there's times that you got a good game plan and your skill is taken over and everything, but there's also times that you just kind of throw caution to the wind, and it's kind of just a fist fight. That's what I like. But I don't know. I go back and forth. Ideally, I want to go out there. I want to finish him in 30 seconds, and I want to go back to a tavern and have a couple of drinks.
Yeah,
If that
definitely.
ain't the case, then then let's have a fist fight.
And that's kind of just a byproduct of how you fight, or are you kind of a guy that wants to give people their money's worth?
No, I don't know. I think it's just kind of a byproduct of who I am, I guess.
Right,
I
because
don't know.
I've heard in the past also that ferocity's been the word used around you, right? Like, you're a very ferocious fighter, sort of in the way you attack it, right? So, it feels like you sort of landed in the right spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of always been that way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if I was a better fighter, I wouldn't have to be. But sometimes sometimes you just gotta brawl. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know. It's who I am.
Right. Yeah, I get you. And when you look at things like, are you a number? Like, do you look at the rankings and things like that, or do you just say, "Let me just take this fight"? Because right, based on
I mean,
everything I've heard, it doesn't feel like you wouldn't even know what the rankings are. Who's in the top 10, right?
my second fight in Bellator, I fought the current champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've had
I
some tough fights, man, for sure.
I when I started fighting, all I ever wanted to do was see how far I could go with it. I'm from a little town, Johnson's Creek, Wisconsin, 3,000 people.
Right.
All I wanted to do was see how far I could take this. So then when I got into Bellator, it was never a picking and choosing. It was just kind of I want to see how good I am, and I don't know. I think that's what I did.
Right. And I mean, credit to you, man. You've certainly gone a lot farther than, the average human will. You're a very good fighter, and, you're obviously viable in the
Thank you.
division. You face very good guys, right? Do you think that at age 29, that's only made you better? Because again, I've seen the guys that you fought since you got to Bellator. They didn't give you no softballs now. You know what I mean?
No, I know. No, they didn't. I don't know. Part of me, I find myself questioning sometimes, if that's the right way to do it or not. But I don't know. Like you got guys like that Sean O'Malley. He's a UFC guy, and he talks about not taking on top ranked opponents until he's getting paid, until it's the right time, and there might be something to that. I don't know. It wasn't the path I took. I kind of said, throw me to the fire, kind of.
And that's kind of the nature of you not even caring to focus on like the rankings or all that stuff, right? Is it
Well,
part of that or no?
the way I see it, man, we're MMA fighters, and we're MMA fighters at the elite level. Like I I don't know. I feel kind of cheesy picking and choosing who I'm fighting. You know, I'm going to sit in an interview and say, you know, you hear every fighter say, I'll fight anybody, but a lot of them don't really mean that. So if you're gonna be that guy, then you got to be that guy. So I don't know. I never really picked. Like I said, this last opponent, my manager just gave me a date. He said, hey, you want to fight, you know, December 9th? I said, yeah. That was it. There was no, that was it. That was the whole conversation, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, definitely, man. That's totally understandable. And you know, it feels like you're a guy who doesn't like to sort of pay attention to all that stuff, right? You sort of like to stay within yourself. Or are you a guy? Do you have like a farm or anything like that? Or do you like to get stuff done on the outside or not?
My hobby is, well, so me and my old lady are working on an old house right now. That's kind of been taking up a lot of my time. It's actually, I can pan it around for you. This old one.
Yeah, definitely. So you're working on that.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
I'm sitting right. What I'm sitting in right now is the carriage house of the place, which needed a lot of work too. Actually, this whole summer, kind of been doing that. I'm a guy with a lot of hobbies. I got a couple old cars and motorcycles. I like to when I'm done, when I shut my mind off from MMA, then I use that stuff to kind of occupy it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, you go crazy thinking about fights and training and what you could be doing and what you're not doing and all this. I think it's a good thing to have a hobby totally separated from the sport. At least for me, that works well for me.
You know, you don't want to have times where you're always worrying about the opponent you're fighting throughout the whole process, right? So you want to sort of lock in at the times when you have to lock in on those opponents, right? Not necessarily do it beforehand and whatnot. Are these all things that help you cope when you're fighting? Like these are kind of things that help you, because the fighting is a pretty crazy world, man, right? So like you need things to distract you. So it feels like these are all things intertwined in your world that keep you afloat, right? That keep you level-headed.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you though, a lot of these things were a part of my life even before fighting. So I just enjoyed the things, but it does work exactly like what you said, though. It does work that way as well. The thing with not watching so much film on my opponent, I've always thought if you watch too much film and you watch too much film too early on an opponent, you end up training differently, changing the things you're good at just based off of this guy. Like a good example, like in my gym, we got a ton of really good wrestlers. And there'll be times that I'll be struggling with a takedown at practice. And I find myself like not trying it, but then I'll go out in a fight and it'll be the easiest takedown because I'm not dwelling on my opponent. You know, it just, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I think simple, making things simple is the way to do it. You know, this is, at the end of the day, it's a fight and anything can happen in the fight. So I try to make it as simple as I can.
Definitely, man. A couple questions here before you wrap up, and we do appreciate the time. You got the chosen one, right? It's something like, you know, you wear the shirt after the fights and all that, and it's the gym, right? Like, can you talk a little bit about what that means to you, for you? And it obviously helped you coming up, right? How special is that for you? Because it's something you're very, you know, you rep it a lot. You're very supportive of it.
I've been at that gym now for probably, well, I did all my pro fights with that gym. I don't know, man, you know, my coaches are some of my best friends. My teammates are some of my best friends. Like, I'm going to rep that gym forever, you know? I can't really ever see myself training anywhere else. So yeah, I rep that any chance I can.
How long have you been at that gym specifically?
I did my amateur career. I did at a smaller gym in Madison. And then every pro fight I had has been at Chosen Few Gym.
Okay.
Every single one. Yep.
Wow, man, that's awesome. So it seems like
Yeah,
you've got
so
a lot of
been there a while. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It must feel like a home for you, right, at this point?
Oh yeah, definitely is. Yeah.
One last question here, man. Obviously, we could expect a great fight because that's all that you're in, right? You're always in great fights. Besides that, though, what can we expect? Can we expect, like, you know, some new improvements? Not anything specific, but I mean, can we expect the, you know, maybe the best version of you, new improvements? What could the fans expect to see at Bellator 289, man?
I think it'll be the best version of me. I think every fight has been the best version of me. I think I'm constantly evolving. Still at this state of career that I'm in now, I still feel like I'm evolving. So I think you'll see the best from me, and you'll see. I'm kind of at a point where I'm kind of a little careless out there. You know, I got nothing to lose in this fight, so I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna let the fur fly a little bit. You know, I said that in before my last fight, and I did that. So I think you'll see something very similar.
Absolutely, man. I love that. Let the fur fly. It's a new one. I'm going to keep that one in the back of my head.
There you go.
All right, guys, you can check him out. Marc Lemminger, he takes on Michael Lombardo at Bellator 289 in December. It's going to be a good one again, so make sure you check that out. Thanks for joining the show, man. I appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, take it easy. Enjoy the weather.
You too. Yeah, I will.